Hey guys, welcome to the Challenge Podcast. I'm Coach Steve.
And I'm Coach Nick, and we're going to be talking about everything fitness, health, and the challenge.
Let's get on with the show.
What's up guys, Coach Steve here and welcome back to another episode of the Challenge Weekly Show. Today we're joined with our co-host, Coach Nick. Nick, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thanks Coach Steve. How are you?
I'm well, Nick, but tell me, last weekend, how was INBA?
Oh, it was nice. It was good. Yes, I had a great time. It was really good.
I saw some medals on social media.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, because that's the only reason why we do these things, isn't it? Yeah. So I did well. I got the gold medals that I suppose I was after, and
So just humbly took out first place, is what you're telling me.
Well, it sounds really weird, and maybe people are not going to be able to relate, but I just really do it for the whole process of it all. Like, I just love every day of just training and seeing myself get leaner and still seeing what weights I can push. And I like, genuinely, it doesn't matter either way. But look, hey, I have them I happen to have them in this bag. So if there's a visual that you're going to use for the podcast or anything, these are the two medals that I picked up.
They're huge.
They are.
Size of your face.
And one of them dropped because it fell off its thing as I was walking down the stairs, and it nearly sliced my foot off.
Oh gosh. Because
they're dangerous things. But so that was really nice. It was good. It was really good. I'm not very exciting, am I? Because once the thing is achieved, it sort of feels like you need to move on to the next thing, you know?
No, Nick, you could bask in the glory for a minute. You know, big congratulations taking out two first place. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
In which categories again?
This was it's their new category, which is a wellness, which is a hybrid between fitness and the wellness division. That if anyone wants to look it up, it hails from Brazil. And it means that you've got massive quads and booty and all that sort of stuff. But I don't really have that. But for a natural athlete, I probably have enough that, that's rewarded at this stage. But there will be younger women that come up in the ranks that will have much more than me, that will very soon overtake this old chook.
So what you're saying is that you won the first ever INBA wellness category.
Oh no, look, I think they've had it before. No, they had it last I was going to say last term,
season.
Season. I was going to say last term. So no, I'm just, there's probably heaps of them now, heaps of people that have done that. So
you're the first season B INBA champion, is what you're telling me, Nick.
Oh, look, there are others as well.
You're the first person to win the wellness category for INBA in season B. Yes, that is correct.
Oh, well, yeah, look, I think I did all right, but don't quote me on it, because the thing is, like, I'm not going to the nationals or anything. I'm going to go to Queensland next week and do Miss Fitness. So we'll see. That can be our next topic. But I cringe. I'm like Keith, who we work with, like, I just totally, I love bodybuilding and everything, but I don't even know if I like going on the stage.
No, Nick, be a champion, be the champion that you are. Right. You won two divisions, the first ever INBA season B champion right here, right now.
Thanks, Coach Steve. I really appreciate you being so kind as to feature me as a community highlight.
Look, Nick, talking about the challenge.
Yep.
Exciting times in the challenge. We have just wrapped up the public voting for the first ever July M challenge. Public voting is now closed, and this week we'll be having our awards night. Having our awards night, the first ever M Challenge Awards Night, where we'll be celebrating our winners from the July challenge. That will be kicking off this Friday. It's this Friday, the 14th of October. It's going to be 7:30 Melbourne time. So Melbourne just did go through a daylight savings jump. So if you are in anywhere other than Melbourne, you might want to just double check what time that is, 7:30 p.m. night time, Melbourne time. So that's Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, AEDT. And if you want to join in live, so check out live and you can find out if you made it to the top 10 live with everybody else as we go through our awards night. It's a really fun night. We have a little slideshow presentation, just like we are in high school, and we celebrate our winners. We announce our top 3 finalists, of course, first place, second place, third place for male and female. Also our top 10s for male and female. We celebrate our top 50. That will be announced this Wednesday, the 12th of October. So from about 2 p.m. onwards, you'll be able to find the link, posted everywhere on social media. You're going to click that link and view if you are in the top 50. We also celebrate our community award winners, so those who celebrate and encourage our community members. And we also celebrate the People's Champion, those who receive the most amount of votes that are outside of the top 10. So we just like to spread out our awards. So those who receive the most votes who did not get in the top 10 will receive the People's Choice Award, or the People's Champion Award. Okay, so lots of awards coming out on the awards night, name matching of the awards. Nick, it's an exciting night.
Oh, exciting. Oh, yeah, it feels like ages since we've last done one of these. So I've got to figure out what I'm going to wear.
Yeah, I might have to bring out the shirt and tie. It'll be good.
Yep. Shirt and tie and then just normal gym shorts on the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Is it business up top, party down the bottom?
Yeah, because I reckon I'll wear my pajama pants. I reckon I've evolved from wearing like full gown all the way to like pajama pants on the bottom and like a nice sequin top on the top. Because then we can just go straight from the awards night to the lounge room.
It's an easy transition, the old easy work from home lifestyle. So good.
Yeah.
Nick, next challenge. The next challenge, the October challenge, the M6 6-week challenge, kicks off on the 24th of October, and prep week starts next week, the 17th of October. So if you have joined us for the October challenge, you signed up today or maybe yesterday, you will be able to view your training plan, your nutrition plan from the 17th of October, with the challenge officially starting on the 24th of October. The last day to sign up is the 25th of October. So if you are still sitting on the fence, the challenge begins on the 24th, last day the 25th. Okay, so that's starting very, 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 very soon. Nick, are you excited for 6-week challenge?
Yeah, hop off the fence, people, and join. Hop off the fence. I'm very excited because there are some such exciting new features. Well, not necessarily new features, but improvements to the app that I think are just spot on and are going to make the user experience so good. So I'm excited to showcase those.
Yeah, I think probably the biggest one is that we have been able to add our video database to the M Challenge app. So every single exercise, or almost every exercise, will have a demonstration video, either of myself or Coach Nick, demonstrating the exercise. Also, you'll be able to view your training history from within a workout. So from the workout, you can just click the little image of the workout. You'll see a little eye on that image now. You'll be able to click that. And you'll be able to pop up the training history, a nice little graph that charts your training history, how many reps and how much load you used for each exercise. And then the video, and then a description of the video along with, what the target muscle is and what equipment is required for it. So lots of information now available from within the workout, which is really, really cool. So we're excited to be able to have that in time for the next challenge, and you actually use it right now. So if you are still using the M Challenge app from the July challenge, you'll be able to use it up until the end of this week, and you can access some of those features already.
Yeah, very exciting. Yay.
Nick, finally, we have an exciting announcement. We are giving away 10 $250 prize packs. Nick, 10 $250 prize packs for Max and Maxine products. And what it's going to be is we are going to randomly select 10 people who have signed up to the M6 challenge, the October challenge, the M6 challenge. If you have signed up before Tuesday, the 18th, so that's the day after prep week begins. So if you signed up before that date, you'll be eligible for this prize. And we're going to randomly pick out 10 people with the value of $250. What you'll get in that is a subs pack. So part of the $250 is you can select which supplement pack you want. A few goodies in there, a few bars and cookies in there, and also a merchandise pack. So you'll be able to get an M Challenge hoodie. So if you are still on the fence, you're still unsure, sign up today so that you can get be in the running for the $250 prize pack. There's 10 of them to give away. Nick, it's gonna be really cool, really exciting, and I think I I wouldn't say steal one of those prize packs for myself, but I might replicate one of those prize packs from the back end and take it home with me.
Oh, absolutely. And what a great way to start your challenge with all the things that make it extra.
That's right. Yeah, like if you are unsure about, how to kind of start the challenge, like this is the perfect starting point. So you'll be able to get all the supplements that you would need for an amazing transformation, plus a few merchandise along the way. And the sign-up fee, less than $100, $9 for anyone who is brand new to the challenge. A little bit cheaper if you use the promotion code, which is the MVIP10. And you can get 10% off, so it's $80. So imagine signing up brand new, $80, and you get $250 of a prize pack. Gosh, such value for money. Plus, you get a 6-week challenge and get to go in the running for our amazing prize pool of prizes. So lots and lots of giveaways for this M6 in October.
That's exciting. I love it. Very good.
Nick, let's move on to our next segment here. We have our community highlights. But first, we've highlighted yourself, Nick. Kicking goals in the bodybuilding world, our INBA Season B Grand Champion, first ever wellness champion for INBA Season B, Miss Humble right here.
No.
And we also can celebrate all of those who are being really active within our online communities, particularly in our Facebook social hub, who are posting their transformations and supporting each other. So I do want to take a moment to celebrate those individuals who are online. But Nick, take us away. Who would you like to highlight this week in the community highlights?
Okay, so I've just realized how long this one is, so I might condense it a bit, but AJ Dean. So AJ says, "Hi Fit Fam, some amazing transformations starting to appear on here. Congratulations to all who made it to the end, and a thumbs up to all who started but didn't quite see it through to the end for whatever reason. Your time will come. A big thank you to the M Challenge and the coaches. I've learned so much through the advice on the forum and the podcast, and a thank you to all the regular posters on here. It's been great reading everything and you've helped keep me motivated throughout the 12 weeks. Some awesome people driving the motivation and commitment. I started at 93.8 kilos and finished this morning at 83.1. So that's really cool. I think that's amazing. I would like to say congratulations. I would like to also say thank you so much for engaging with our material. We are available to you through, now this is podcast 86, isn't it? So
86, yeah.
That's like 80, it'll be soon 86 hours of us talking about stuff that we're very passionate about. So, there's lots of resources, and I really appreciate you taking the time to connect with those. So very, very good. Good on you, AJ.
Yeah, that's huge, AJ. That's 12.5 kilos down. So, 93 kilo starting point. What is it? 14% body weight loss. It's huge, AJ. Big congratulations. And keep it up. This is just part of your fitness journey, and we're excited to see what you could do in the future. That's
right. And I just feel like it's really, really fantastic to hear that sort of thing. All right. So we've got Tanya Saunders. Here goes nothing. I love those intros because I love a bit of drama. We love a bit of drama, don't we? So here goes nothing. Stepping out of the shadows to share my first M Challenge results. It does feel like that when you first put something up on social media. You think, oh, I'm out of the shadows. So that's really good. I enjoy looking at all the posts on this page daily. I love the app and found the program so easy to follow. I like the weekly podcasts and the accessibility of the coaches and the community feel on this Facebook page. I was mentored by Annette Aston. I did the M Plus program and completed every workout, did a minimum of 10,000 steps per day and followed the rapid weight loss, sticking to it 100%. I'm addicted to the maxines burn bars. I feel you on that. I feel you. They are addictive. I don't know what's in them, but I do actually. That's not true, but they are addictive. I'm keen to keep going, and I wanted to tone and shape my body further and continue to learn and be a part of this community. So she wants to reveal the muscle. I'm proud of everyone here. who's putting in the hard yards. I have to do a shout out to my husband, who is so supportive and patient, taking photos every week. That's so sweet. Oh my gosh. We have to tell Shane to do that. So this is my 7.2 kilo weight loss and feeling great. Yeah, she's got an Insta husband. my one's so not interested.
Yeah, I think Shane's too busy closing your laptop from your work. Hey, Nick.
I know, that was terrible. Yeah, uploading the videos, but that doesn't seem to matter because he borrows it because it's a great laptop. And Shane's very naughty, but luckily with our admin panel, that doesn't really matter so much because as long as you press save as you're going, you're okay.
Oh, Shane, you got to be an Insta husband, my friend.
I know.
Tanya, big congratulations. It's a huge weight loss. And, I hope that this is just one stepping stone in your fitness journey, and you keep on going and use the resources that are around you, such as your husband, who is so supportive of you, and, showing your gratitude towards him any way that you need to.
Yes, your husband, as we say in my house, because the bunnies are married. So husband and bun wife. Oh, very nice. All right. Next up, we have got Jackie Deacon. So Jackie is she came runner up. I'd say it was one of the 6-week challenges perhaps, but feels like ages ago, but it probably wasn't. But Jackie's done amazing. So she just said, wow, loving all the incredible transformations coming through. Well done to you all. She's very encouraging of everybody, and it's just really good. I've done a podcast with her before. So anyway, I hope you can all be proud and grateful of your body and what it has achieved. If you're not where you want to be yet, that's okay. There's no end date to good health and becoming a better version of you. Every day is an opportunity to keep working on it. So don't let all that hard work go to waste. Keep hustling. I think this was my 8th consecutive challenge. I've completed every challenge since May 2020. This one had its interruptions with 2 surgeries in 2 weeks and a workload from hell. But lucky for me, the gym is my outlet and the non-negotiable every day. No huge transformation this time, but as always, I've loved the process. So I can totally relate to that bit. The process and the gym being the outlet, I relate.
Yeah, I like that. I like that it's an 8th consecutive challenge since May 2020. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Do you know what else I could relate to with that is, with the bodybuilding thing, I've been at this since 2019. I know we had a bit of an interruption, but if I'd have just given up the first time, I would never know that I could have gone okay, So that's the other thing. It doesn't matter where you're at or what your goals are. I think it's really important to keep going if you feel passionately about something, or if you think you might stand a chance at something, because you never know, so that's really good.
Yeah, no, so good. Nick, I've got a couple I'd like to highlight. The first one goes out to Christy Carey, and Christy writes, my first M challenge completed. While this is only the start of my journey for me, I am so happy with how far I've come. Well done to everyone who completed and achieved the results they aimed for. Me, I'll be aiming higher in the next stage of my journey. A huge congratulations to my husband, Matthew Carey, on his amazing results. Thank you for supporting me and pushing me when you were struggling also. I like this.
That's really nice.
Christy. Yeah.
Nice.
But before I make any comments about it, the next person I'd like to highlight is Matthew Carey.
Ah, there you go. I see what you did there.
Mrs. and Mr. Carey, and Matthew writes, 12-week M challenge completed. Thank you to the challengers. Kickstart my fitness journey. This is only a start for me. The next phase is working on the definition and abs. Not easy at 45, he writes. Also, a huge well done to my wife, Christy Carey, in her first challenge and the amazing results she achieved. And both of them, both Matthew and Christy, sign off with little kiss emoji, which is cute. So husband and wife duo there I'd like to highlight. And I like that a married couple can support each other as they go through this journey, and they may find that they start to develop their relationship into different areas where maybe previously what they found exciting or as entertainment was maybe to go out to a restaurant or to sit and watch Netflix or to just hang out or do less fitness-based activities, but then now maybe they've bonded over a new thing like going to the gym together or meal prepping together, and they might have created a new dimension to their relationship, which is really beautiful to see. So congratulations to Christy and Matthew.
I love that. I really love it. I think that's really beautiful. And I think it's something that can really be cherished, and it's also really, really good for your relationship health, but also your overall health as a human. So I love it. Fantastic. Good.
So good. The last person here I'd like to highlight is Juliet Pongas. And Juliet writes, 84 days of 10K plus steps, 48 workouts, 7 kilos down. Love doing the challenge. Can't wait for the next M6 challenge. Nick, short, it's sweet, but it's great. I like the summary.
Yeah, that speaks to you so much, because that's how you like to sum up each challenge as well. So
yeah.
I reckon you copy her.
No, I like it. And it just summarizes it, over 84 days doing 4 workouts a week over 12 weeks. That's 48 workouts, over 10,000 steps per day. So you would have completed over, 840,000 steps on average, roughly. That's your total sum. Awesome. I love the data. I love statistics. And Juliet, keep it up. That's great.
Really good. Love it. And it's good when you look at it like that, because then you can also think about, if you start to miss one or two of them, it can add up. Every single little bit adds up like a brick in a wall. So that's what you got to think of if you ever feel like just giving up. You go, I've got to just put another brick in today and another one, and eventually I'll get that wall.
Yeah, I like it. It's like one step at a time, the type of idea.
Yeah.
But then also on the flip side is, if you miss a day for whatever reason, on the bigger picture,
it's only one brick, and you can add the next brick the next day. So
that's right. You've still got your wall being constructed, but you might just be a little bit behind, but you're still there. So if you looked at it like, I did 46 workouts instead of 48 workouts, that's still 46 awesome workouts. Great. Even though you missed 2 workouts, no dramas, right? 46 is better than 45 or 44 or 0. So that's awesome to think about it in a bigger picture. And sometimes I invite people to look at it from a macro perspective, not macronutrients, but macro. View out, take a step back at it all, and be like, all right, well, you missed a day here, or missed a day there, or maybe you didn't get 10,000 steps there, or you missed a workout, or maybe you ate a little bit more that particular day. But let's zoom out. Let's look at the bigger picture. Like, what on average is it like? On average, are you averaging 9,000 steps a day? That's awesome, right? Even though you missed a few days, some days were lower, some days were higher, but on average, that's great. What's your average caloric intake? What's your average workout? What's your average weight? What are the averages like? And that's better information than a snapshot in time.
Very true. Very true.
Nick, let's move on to our next segment here. We have the Coach's Corner, where we offer our tip for the week. So Nick, take us away. What advice do you have for us?
All right. So quite a few people that are interested in the way that the mind works will probably like this one a little bit. So it's about ingrained thought patterns that might have come to us through childhood experiences, things that we experienced in our formative years. But these ingrained thought patterns, there are positive ones and negative ones, but the negative ones can actually hold us back, and we're not even sure necessarily why, or we don't really know necessarily that we're doing it. And it might be something habitual when we reach a certain level that we just fall into. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about that. So from childhood, these patterns can be, thought of in things such as, and this is a really good one in terms of around food. The one I'm sure that, most kids were told this in my era. In my era, I need to finish everything on my plate. So that kind of sometimes leads to eating even when we're full, because we have been taught to clean our plates completely. And it's a very interesting one to think of, because if you sometimes eat past when you're actually full, it might be because you were taught that as a child. So just have a think about that, because sometimes you might overconsume and it's not necessarily even something that you consciously understand. You just always think that you have to leave a clean plate. Another one.
If I was just to jump in there, that was me. Yeah,
Was it?
We used to get the belts if we didn't finish our
There
plates.
you go.
Yeah, so that led to a lot of teenage weight issues between me and my siblings. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Because it's just something that we kind of have been, well, we were taught. I don't know if that's changing now. I mean, I know that with my kids, I tend to just say to them, that's okay. Once you're finished, you're finished. I do say to them, please respect that I've cooked this meal and just give it a crack. But yeah, that kind of thing. But I would never say to them, you need to finish everything. So that's good that we're kind of breaking that. And the other one is from childhood. If you were, and you often hear, there's a couple of different fitness professionals that will say that they came from this kind of milieu, let's just say, which is being the fat kid at school. So I know that Mark Otobre is one of them, but if you want to look up his stuff, but that's kind of something that has driven this person to then help others to possibly never feel, and I think Craig Harper also maybe never feel the way that they felt when they were at school. And that is great. But the thing is, that can lead to when you're older. And I was like definitely not active at school and definitely ate a lot of crap and definitely didn't move much. I did a lot more kind of other stuff. But I still in the back of my head sometimes think, oh yeah, I'm just that fat kid that doesn't know what they're doing. So like that's me that actually did all right the other day at like an actual show where you are judged on your literal 100% abs, you know. So there's a disconnect there. So if I'm feeling that, then there'd be so many people that feel that. So that therefore, how are you going to be able to improve? You can take a few steps, but if that thing inside of you is trying to hold you back, it's quite crazy how you might get a certain amount, you might get through a certain amount of weeks of the challenge, but then you get dragged back by those thought patterns. And then one that can develop when you become a parent is taking time for myself is selfish. So that's one that can develop for, I don't think it's a male female thing these days. I think it's all of us, because we feel that pressure that we feel worried about leaving our partner with the kids. We feel worried about doing stuff, but then we feel worried about not doing stuff. So that's something else that you need to examine for yourself and think of some ways, which I will suggest, by the way, as I continue on, ways to tackle this from adulthood. Another one that I reckon is a big one is that's too expensive. So you go to yourself, I'm not going to buy a challenge, or I'm not going to buy the supplements, or it's too expensive, I can't justify it, that sort of a thing. I'm not going to buy myself new gym clothes, it's too expensive. So investing in yourself, perhaps even investing in a coach here and there that could help you do your technique, you know, have a look at what your technique's doing, you know, investing in some things around fitness, perhaps some weights to do from home. And also another one, which is a big one, and I think I suffer from this, like, even though, I mean, it's a bit weird because I'm sitting here with like the reddest hair you've ever seen in your life, but don't stand out, blend in. So there's this big contradiction where it's like, when I stand out, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to, even though I'm, you know, like literally on the marketing material for our brand and all that sort of stuff. But I've got this thing of also just make sure that you don't do too much that's out of the ordinary, because you'll get too much attention. So that's another one. And in your friendship group, that could be something that happens to you, or you know, just in your environment. And you know how you always talk about the environment shaping you for the challenge. So just be aware of those different things and ask yourself, are those voices in your head sort of holding you back a little bit? So ways to fix this, because that sounds all a bit scary, because it's like, okay, yes, I can relate to all those. How do you fix it? So I've just got some suggestions, which is, firstly, always, I reckon it's really important to be aware that these things are happening. So when I have these patterns now saying I'm not worth it, or, you know, I'm the fat kid, I need to be aware. And I just go, okay, you're having that feeling at the moment. and go, okay, so I'm not going to let that particular feeling overtake everything, or I'm supposed to finish everything on my plate. So sometimes I'll subconsciously just do that, and other times I'll go, wait a minute, am I full? Let me have a drink of water. Let me see. Oh, wait, I'm actually full. So just be conscious, mindfulness. Address the inner critic. So that's another one where you can go, and this is a really good technique. You can go, you're here, inner critic. You can come with me on the ride, but you're not going to drive the bus, So it's like they can travel in the bus with you, because I think people saying just get rid of that inner critic, I reckon that's bullshit, because it's too hard. I just can't fathom how you can just get rid of it. So it's a part of you, but just say to that inner critic, you can't have all the airtime. The next one is know your triggers. So that works quite well in terms of even, with the food, things like that. So if you think, oh yes, that triggers me to leave some food, maybe serve yourself a smaller portion, see how it goes. Tell yourself I can always eat more. Try not to necessarily be around those people that might put you down, and if you're feeling a little bit vulnerable sometimes, or don't put yourself into situations where you still feel a bit vulnerable. That's another one. And writing it down can be quite good. So journaling, we've got that little journal feature in our app. And the other one is change your environment. That's the massive one. So it's not always you. There's a saying that says, how do you know if you are suffering from depression or surrounded by assholes? So which one is it? I've sworn twice, but which one is it? And you can't always blame yourself. You need to look at your environment around you. And for change that's as big as body transformation, you have to go within it. You have to start from changing your insides. And to do that, you actually need a supportive environment, or you need to at least have an environment that isn't actively trying to hack at you. So that's my little talk for the day. That's my TED talk. Thank you for coming.
Nick, I love it. A little bit outside of our pay grade, going into some deep ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the only comment I would make is that if you feel that you are suffering, is that the right word, Nick? If you're suffering or experiencing some of these thought patterns, I think Nick highlighted a great strategy to start with, observing it first and, slowly making changes, such as writing things down, journaling, that type of thing. However, if some of these are persistent, you may need to go seek professional help above people like Coach Nick or myself, or any other, person that could be masquerading as a psychologist. That seems to be a growing group of people, but very, very deep and interesting ideas, Nick. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is very important to say. Like, if it's something that is beyond just trying to get better at fitness, then definitely go see someone. I'm not a qualified psychologist in any way, shape, or form, so please take this with just a little bit of sort of coach advice, but go see someone who's far more equipped than me.
Perfect, Nick. So good. Nick, I would like to offer some advice on when to use a bar pad.
I'd like to know when you think you should.
When to use a bar pad.
Hip thrusts. No, okay, sorry, I don't want to steal your thunder.
Firstly, Nick, do you own your own bar pad?
No.
No.
I do not. If I do hip thrust, which would be the only time that I would use one, that's just me. I will use like towels, or I will use I've used like a gym mat or anything that's sort of around that's got that kind of thing. How about you?
Yeah. No, I don't own one. I haven't used one in quite some time. But I'd like to talk about it because of an observation I made over the past week, and a broader observation I see from challengers, gym goers, and people online, where some individuals are still anxious to have the bar, referring to a barbell up against their body, and want to have something between the bar and their body. Okay. And that could be a bar pad, which we're going to talk about today. It could be a rolled up gym mat, something squishy, a towel, some people use, and then others would try to find other bits of material to put between their body and the barbell. For example, like gloves or, some little grippy pads, or some people use sponges even in between their hands and such, right? But let's talk about why you would use a bar pad and then when you should use a bar pad. Okay, so bar pad, I'm going to be referring primarily to the pool noodle type bit of equipment that you see floating around in some gyms, and became quite popular as the hip thrust became popular from Brett Contreras. The barbell hip thrust pad, right, became a thing, this pool noodle type thing that can wrap around the barbell. Okay, so what does it do? Of course, it helps to protect the force, gravity force of the barbell against parts of your body. So depending on where you put the barbell, let it be on your hips, or if you're resting parts of your body on the barbell or such, it can create just a little bit of cushioning. Okay, so when would you use it? The most popular use of it would be through a hip thrust movement. Okay, so of course, you've got this barbell on the bony parts of your hips, and that could be very uncomfortable. So you'd use a bar pad for that. There are some quote strong people out there that will just put the barbell straight on the hips. You gotta feel. You gotta get the pain, no gain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, ouch is what I say.
Yeah. They're not lifting heavy enough.
Yeah. So I guess for me, I'd put a bar pad in there. But for me, I don't own a bar pad, so I use just a gym mat. I roll it up and I roll that over my barbell. But I'm not doing hip thrusts very often these days. I haven't really done a hip thrust in a good, like 12 months or so. But that's okay, because you can use the bar pad for other reasons. Okay, so the most common reason I use a bar pad is when I do a Bulgarian split squat or a rear foot elevated split squat. I would have a barbell set up in a squat rack in a low setting, and I wrap my just gym mat, squishy gym mat around that. So then when I'm resting my foot on there, I don't have like the bony parts of my feet resting on metal, which becomes uncomfortable and then ruins my exercise. I'm resting my foot on the little bit of squishy foam. So it makes it more comfortable for me. So that's one common way that I use a bar pad or a rolled up mat. Another way I've used a bar pad is through like a Nordic Curl. So you may load a barbell into a heavy weights, put a couple 100 kilos on that barbell. Fix it, so maybe put a plate on either side of the barbell so it doesn't roll, wrap the barbell with my gym mat or a bar pad, and then when I have my kind of back of my calves or Achilles tendon kind of resting on that barbell, I'm not kind of digging into the metal. Okay, so that's another way you can use a bar pad. Okay, let's talk about the main reason why you would not use a bar pad. Okay, so the main reason to not use a bar pad, the exercise that you should not use a bar pad for, and you should never use a bar pad for, is a squat. Nick, a squat. So the whole point of this Coach's Corner, yes, we're talking about when to use it, but I want to specifically highlight when not to use a bar pad, and you should not ever use a bar pad for a squat. Okay, and that is a barbell squat, a Smith machine squat. Whenever you're resting the bar on your traps for a high bar squat or your rear delts for a low bar squat, you need to have the bar resting on your body. You shouldn't have anything in between there. Okay, let's talk about why. Well, firstly, it changes where the load is placed in terms of the height. Yeah. So when you have, your traps as in your upper back, and then you have the bar pad there, there's a few centimeters of the bar pad, then the weight of the barbell is sitting higher than where it should be. So that changes and alters the way that you do the actual squat, right? Then it can change the stability requirements of the squat. So when you are in the squishy elements, so when the bar is sitting on the squishy parts, that's when it can start to move and act as like a shock absorption, versus when it's rigid on your body, then you have complete control over that load. It's not, your body, which is stable, and then something that's unstable, the squishy mat or whatever, and then the barbell, because that's just adding extra coordination effects. When your body needs to co-contract to stabilize you, you lose motor recruitment. Okay, Okay. So let's say myself, Coach Steve, I've squatted 220 kilos on my back before. And for there, you need a high amount of stability so that my motor units, my muscles, the actual go of my muscles say, all right, Steve, we need to go now. You need to squat. You need to get out of the hole. If my motor units are busy trying to be stabilizers, being like, all right, we need to make sure this is stable and that's stable and that's stable, they can't do their job to create force. So if you're squatting and you're struggling to squat any number, 20 kilos, 40 kilos, 50 kilos, and you've got the squishy mat, you may find that if you get rid of the squishy mat and have the barbell up against your body, you increase your stability so that you can create more performance. Okay. Now, on the rebuttal, you'd say, well, Steve, it's just really uncomfortable when I have the barbell on my back. And that's when I go, well, okay, a few things. Firstly, that could be great feedback to say that the barbell is in the incorrect spot. Okay. You want to be resting the barbell on muscle tissue, not on bony tissue. So if you find that you're putting the barbell on your back and it's resting on like, the spiny protuberance or part of your spine, right? If you feel like the upper back and you feel that kind of bony point, if you find that the barbell is resting on there, that will be really uncomfortable. You push on that kind of bony point, it's kind of uncomfortable to push on it with your hands. So if that barbell is resting there, not a good spot for the barbell. So we want to try to modify where that barbell is being placed so that it's not on that bony spot. You may find that you then need to kind of contract your muscle a little bit. So if you can kind of contract your traps a little bit, you create a bit of a shelf, and then that barbell can sit nicely on the shelf, which adds to the whole kind of process of the squat where we're trying to create tension across our whole body, which we should be doing whenever we're doing any exercise, creating tension across our whole body to keep ourselves stable. You may find that that action forces you to kind of contract your upper back, your traps, your rear delts, wherever you're putting the barbell, so that you can find stability in the barbell, you have control on the barbell, and you're resting it on the correct spot. So in summary, Nick, the barbell, the bar pad can be helpful to stop the barbell from sitting on uncomfortable spots. The barbell could be used in a range of ways, from a hip thrust or as something comfy to rest our foot when we're doing a split squat, but it should not be used during a barbell back squat. And part of it will be a learning curve of, okay, we need to, in the nicest way, harden up a little bit, get that barbell on our back, find the comfortable spot for it. Because if you are consistently not comfortable finding the spot, you're probably in the wrong spot where you're placing that barbell. So then you can be more stable so that you can complete a safer squat and more effective squat, and you can lift some heavy ass loads.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you on that. I can't imagine using it for squatting. It would just throw everything out for me. So it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. And you see it in videos, Nick. You see it in videos, or if you are in the gym and you see someone put the bar pad on the squat, have a little side eye and watch them as they unrack. So what I mean is they'll go under the bar, they'll find their spot, and as they go to take the step back, the barbell is doing like a seesaw, right? Because the barbell is basically on like a Bosu ball. It's not stable. So as they're unloading taking a step back from the barbell, the squat rack, the barbell is doing a seesaw, and then they're basically tiring themselves out because their midsection has to contract to stabilize this load on their back while it's bouncing all over the place. And then when they go to squat, the load's wobbling all over the place, versus if you watch someone who didn't use a bar pad, it's stable, it's fixed, it's not going anywhere, right? Unless they're running with the barbell, then it's shaking a little bit. But it's just stability, Nick. It's all that stability.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't trust heavy load with that thing on my back like that. No.
Not at all. Nick, let's go through our final segment here. We have our question and answer, where we answer some questions from our community. So Nick, first question comes from Julia. And Julia writes, hi everyone. Is anyone doing the 6-week bikini challenge? Can someone tell me a bit more about it and what's involved? It's been a few years since I've completed the maxines challenge and definitely think I need to come back. Nick, what advice do you have for Julia?
I would say that sounds good. Come back. I think what's involved in it is more of the same that we do in the 12-week challenge. The reason is, I'd love to be able to tell you that it's all different, but it's the same formula it works really well. What we have are a variety of different workout lengths, and we've also got different options for you to complete your training either at home or at the gym. And I think also, you know, having the 2 new programs, the Dad Bod Destroyer and the Busy Mum program, that's something else that we've added to our little toolbox. But what's involved is basically consistency. You'll have to do steps, so that's something that you'd have to factor in. It's really important to, you know, take stock of what you're eating and have a look at if that's serving your goals properly. People do ask often, what can I buy in advance? And I think it's really important to know that it's nothing fancy. It's, you know, lean sources of protein, it's veggies, it's fruits, it's all the good stuff like that, you know, rice, potatoes. Just, you might see it as basic foods, but it's also the reason that we keep it fairly simple is because we know that that works. And, you know, you can measure it, and what's measured is managed, but you can also certainly fit in whatever you like to eat as well. So what else is involved? I think accountability, part of our community thing, is that you can kind of share your journey, and that might keep you accountable. And I think 6 weeks is a good chance for you to either choose muscle gain or something that's going to help you shed body fat for summer. So what's involved is just more of all of that, and you'll get to see if you enjoy it enough to commit to a 12-week one.
No, I like it, Nick. Yeah, it summarizes what the 6-week challenge is. The other things I'd say to Julia is that the Maxines challenge is no more. We are the M challenge. The M challenge, which is an amalgamation, emerging of the Max and the Maxine challenge into one. So the no more Maxines challenge is the M challenge, M6, the 6-week challenge. Get excited, get around it.
Absolutely, very exciting.
Nick, next question here comes from Ashley, and Ashley writes, "Hi, I am currently in the process of weaning my daughter off of breastfeeds, and I only feed her at nighttime. I was wondering if it would still be okay to use the general protein shake as well as the sip and burn, but avoid night protein. Thanks in advance." Okay, let's talk about it. Ashley, so firstly, just to break down a misconception, it sounds like you are breastfeeding in the evening and you are trying to avoid evening protein. Okay, so in terms of physiology, that breast milk isn't made instantly, right? So if you were to consume something in the evening, that food isn't instantly being passed on through breast milk. It would be a combination of all the foods you ate throughout the day. Okay, so completely abstaining from like a nighttime protein doesn't mean that your breast milk would be different. Okay, so that's the first thing that we need to say. Next, our advice is around supplements with women who are either pregnant or breastfeeding is to avoid supplements with any thermogenic aids. Okay, so any products that promote thermogenesis or increasing our energy expenditure. Now, that could be things such as caffeine, which is often why doctors would say, you probably don't want to be having lots of caffeine because it makes us jittery. It increases our core temperature a little bit, increases our energy expenditure, when most of that energy would be going towards baby when we're pregnant, or through creation of breast milk if we are breastfeeding. Okay, so our advice to you, Ashley, or to any mum out there who is breastfeeding, is to avoid any product with thermogenic aids in it. Now, the unfortunate thing is that all of the Maxines burn products have thermogenic products in them. Okay, meaning that Maxines burn protein is a thermogenic aid. Maxine sip and burn is a thermogenic aid, and Maxine's nighttime protein is a thermogenic aid. So all three of those products that you suggested in your post here are supplements that we recommend that you do not take if you are breastfeeding. Okay, so what could you have instead? Well, funnily enough, most of the Max's range is actually quite suitable for breastfeeding women. So what I would recommend is the Max's 100% whey, which is a whey protein isolate, which is just a hyper filtrated whey protein, which would be digested really well and would actually probably support the production of breast milk for yourself. Without diving too much into the research, there's some really cool stuff about supplementing creatine at both when you are pregnant and breastfeeding. So if you want to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole, I'd recommend you research that and seek advice from a medical professional about those types of supplements. I don't want to be saying take this, take that in this type of medium, Ashley, but I'm sure you can make those decisions yourself. But the main takeaway is that you would probably want to be avoiding all three of those products if you are breastfeeding, and it's less time-based than you may be thinking, meaning that if you were to take those products throughout the day and then you think, oh, I'm about to breastfeed my child, I'm going to avoid the protein shake that I have when I'm about to breastfeed, it might not work like that in physiology of making breast milk, Ashley.
Interesting.
Nick, next question here comes from Donna. And Donna writes, menopause question. How have all the ladies in perimenopause found the program? Weight loss results in particular. Nick, just broadly speaking, what advice do you have for Donna, who's in perimenopause, about our program, who is seeking weight loss goals?
Well, Donna, I have to say, I've actually just gone, I don't even need to be broad. I've gone straight to the source because I figured not everybody's going to read this post. So I've just gone through some of the answers, and the ones that I think are relevant and helpful, I'll just read a couple of them out because I agree with this. So somebody said, I'm 55, so I totally get it. Just remain consistent. So consistency is really important. I do have to say that sometimes one of the things is as we get older, we've got a little bit more freedom possibly from the kids, which is nice. And we might have some more free time on our hands or more cash to enjoy our free time. So we may be eating out more often. We may be consuming more alcohol. We may be just moving a little bit less because maybe we don't have, as many commitments where we have to sort of move around, maybe even like kids sport, even when you're driving people around, but then you have to go to the oval for footy, things like that, whatever it is, you're sort of not doing that as much. So consistency, remembering movement. Somebody said the plan works, but it's definitely much harder and requires 100% compliance. So the thing is, it doesn't necessarily require 100% compliance, but it requires awareness and awareness of what you might need to do to improve. So it does mean that you do need to look at your nutrition, and you really probably, one of the hot tips I have to say is you probably can't get away with what you used to when you were younger, just in terms of maybe like having, not that I did this at all whatsoever, like having 20 vodkas and waking up the next day and going to the gym and everything's fine, you lose 10 kilos. I'm just sort of exaggerating a little bit. And that is also just because you don't have the energy the next day to be able to move around as much as you used to. It's just that kind of a thing. That's why, you might sit back and chill out and maybe have a morning after drink or something. So you need to really look at what's going on with your movement. And somebody else said, and this is my favorite one, make sure that your protein intake is good and that you are lifting weights. So weights is where it's at. So with anything to do with perimenopause, menopause, it's really important to prioritize weight training. So that's for bone density, overall health, and also just to create that muscle mass, which is going to give you that shape, and it's going to, raise your, minimally, but raise your metabolism and help counteract all the effects of aging. And it's a brilliant thing. Like, I am 43 and I feel on top of the world, and I had to really watch in this prep. I had to really, really keep an eye on everything. Not everything was as it used to be, but that was just, I observed it and then I did what was necessary. And I think that that's important. You don't want to become it. You can just observe what's going on for you at your age and then navigate that. And please also, once again, seek professional help. Go see a doctor as well, because there's certain things that you might need professional advice beyond what I have to say about that.
No, I like that, Nick. And yeah, I do want to offer a quick soup summary of what could be happening in the aging process, because I think sometimes, you know, we're quick to label ourselves, maybe not me in particular, but, you know, there's women out there that are very quick to go, oh, I'm perimenopausal, I'm menopausal, and that's like a label that they're proud to wear, or feel like it's a category, or maybe like a diagnosis, or like a problem, okay, where it could just be a normal part of aging. Now, when we do age, we go through a process of sarcopenia, where we start to lose muscle mass, and that happens in guys, girls. It's inevitable. We start losing muscle mass. Now, as we lose muscle mass, we start to lose some bone mineral density, as you said, Nick, particularly in women. As we age, you know, osteoporosis becomes a significant issue. Again, those who may be in menopause may be at a higher risk of osteoporosis developing. When we start losing bone mineral density, we lose muscle mass even quicker. So when we lose muscle mass, that's how we drastically decrease our energy expenditure. So when we decrease our energy expenditure, that means that we require less energy throughout the day just to maintain our day-to-day life. So this is when we face problems for those who are in older age, guys and girls, where we start to decrease our muscle mass, we decrease our energy expenditure, so then we have to further decrease our energy intake to see any significant weight loss. Then when we do see any weight loss, it can be small, and it may not be the weight that we're trying to lose, where you start to get an appearance of kind of, quote, skinny fat, where we don't develop this physique or this tone or this shape that we're striving for. We just go through weight loss. So Nick, you hit the nail right in the head, where weight loss, resistance training, lifting weights, you know, building muscle is the big goal, especially as we age. And you'll find that that is the fountain of youth, where we stay young, where we build muscle. So if you are in an older demographic, in the nicest way, where you know, labeling yourself as perimenopausal or menopausal, or even just say like, oh, I'm getting old, that is at a much higher priority to do resistance training, to build muscle, to build strength. And especially if you came from a generation who prioritized things like aerobics or cardio, or those types of weight loss endeavors, where maybe in your time lifting weights wasn't as a high priority as it is right now. So again, this is my plea to anybody who is labeling themselves as old, is to lift weights, build muscle, do resistance training. If you're not sure how, join the challenge. We guide you through it. Get strong. It solves all our problems, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It solves so many problems.
Nick, final question here comes from Beck. Beck writes, hi guys, I work away as FIFO, fly in, fly out, and fly out to site next week. This next challenge starts on the 24th of October, when I'm up on site, and I would like to have everything up there to be able to hit the ground running. So is it possible you could let me know what supplements, food I will need to purchase prior to leaving for work? I would appreciate this, as I would just like to be prepared, and not always on site camps do they have everything required for quality training nutrition. Thanks, Beck. All right, Beck, let's talk about it. Okay. So firstly, you will have access to your training and nutrition plans from the 17th of October, so prep week. So maybe that coincides with when you're flying out. You can see your plans before you go. Let's talk about what might be on your nutrition plan. So as Nick alluded to in a couple of questions ago, our nutrition plans aren't anything that is extremely revolutionary or outside the box. Our nutrition plans have foods that you can purchase from any supermarket or anywhere, where you will find on our nutrition plans, first, lean sources of protein, so things like beef, chicken, fish, plant sources of proteins like tofus and legumes. Then you'll find servings of energy like rice, pasta, bread, foods that you're probably consuming already. And you'll find a range of fruits and vegetables, all of which, where no fruits and vegetables is off the table. You can eat generally whatever you like. Our framework for nutrition is around energy balance. So you can consume almost any food that you wish, as long as it's within a calorie allowance. In our nutrition plan, you can easily add, remove, or swap foods. So if you don't like to eat beef and you only have chicken in your fridge or chicken available to you, you can just swap out that food quite easily using a little feature to swap it out. If there is a food that you like to consume that is not on the food database, we have about 400, close to 500 different food items on there already. You can email us, support@mchallenge.com.au, and we will be able to add that to our food database quite quickly. So again, you can just let us know what food you'd like us to add. You could add it on there. But most of our meal plans follow, again, lean sources of protein, quality sources of energy, and fruits and vegetables, all foods that you are probably eating already. It would be all about portion control. In terms of supplements, you'll find on our nutrition plan will be sources of protein powders. So you'll find maxines, burn protein powders. You'll find a nighttime powder and a maxines nighttime protein, and you'll find protein snacks. So you'll find things like maxines burn cookies and maxine burn bars. That's for the girls, and for the guys, you'll find similar, but in the maxes range. All those products you can swap out for whole foods, and you can abstain. So you can remove those products. You just need to make up those calories from other foods. So the main takeaway is that our nutrition plans are highly customizable. You can modify them as much as you need to so that it fits within the foods that you consume, and probably the foods that you consume normally, just with a bit of portion control.
Perfect. Yep. Nothing interesting, yet very interesting.
Ooh, I like that.
I know. Why am I so deep today?
Nick, let's wrap it up there for episode number 86 of the Challenge Weekly Show. If you like this episode, let us know. And we'll catch you next week for episode number 87.
Woohoo! We're getting closer to 100.
Woo! Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you like the show, share it with a friend.
Or leave us a review on iTunes to spread the good word. See you next time.